Yeah, myself Rajesh Sharma sir, today here to take care the previous question of RC with the help of IMS today. And now this is a golden opportunity to learn here something that what can I do better and how can I make the RC here very quick. Okay, so RC is that here very important for all of us. This is the RC for the Maya of the classic period who lived in the southern Mexico and the Central America between 250 and 90 EC. See, that means common era. And that category of the person was not coincidence with human beings as it is for us, and that is human beings were person, but other non-human entities could be person too, in order to explore the slippage of categories between humans and the person. This is the RC about the Maya civilization. You know that this is the ancient civilization in India, and we have taken here that before a long time it has been destroyed, it has been ran away from here my civilization. We can say that is a Southern America. You know that Southern Mexico is that here, and Central America. They lived there, but now this time it is not. So we can talk about that. So they lived in that the Maya civilization, and the life of them were very different from others, and the explanation has been given here in this time about that Maya civilization. You know that examine very aspect categories of in ancient Maya image and found painted in the sense on the ceramic vessels. And you know that, so I sought out the instance in which faces some combination of eyes, nose and mouth are shown as inanimate object. You know that the people that they live in that Maya civilization, you know very well about it, that they were totally different from others, and the similar thing was there, the nose, eyes, the same things, but something was different, that the living style, the living life is totally different from their side. Okay, and follows it there, and one of the big explanation is given here. Consider my iPhone, which needs to be fed with the electricity every night and swaddled and in a protective bumper as it enjoys communicating with other fellow phone beings. You know that a great example is given here there, and now we get the summarize of this para. We can talk about that. This is the para that we can consider. There is a example, big example of iPhone, that it's a need of electricity every night, but now this time that how it can be managed with the Maya civilization, you know. So this is the time that we can learn ownership source, and the Maya who did have plenty of other communicating objects, if not a smartphone. The answer was no, and non-human persons were not tethered to specific humans, and they did not derive their personhood and connecting with the humans. And it is profoundly democratizing way of understanding the world, and humans are not more important person, but we are just one of making kinds of person who inhabit this world. That we can say that there are so many persons are living here in civilization in the world, and one of them is that Maya civilization. This is the ancient civilization in the world today. And we consider here in this iPhone example has been given here to specify that which thing is be equal with that there is the electricity needed, but how it can be possible to manage there in the Maya civilization. You can say like that. Okay. In the other hand, the Maya saw the personhood as activated by experiencing certain body needs to participate in the certain social activities. For example, that among the faced object that we can examine person, marked person requirement such as physical closeness and such as hunger, tiredness. Here is that everything was like that, similar to us, that we can say, but they look like that hunger, tiredness, physical closeness, and this was that. And by the community obligation, communication, interaction and ritual observation, they were celebrating as something different. Okay, that means according to the religion, and in the image I examine, we see for instance and faced object and being carried in the human arms, and we also see that speaking to humans that they wrap their cloth on the body to cover it, that, and we can say that we also them speaking the humans, and these are core elements of personhood are both turned inward and what the body or self a person requires outward, what community aspect of the person and who are the part of underlining the reciprocal nature of the community membership. You know that they were connected each other, and you can understand better about it that they were managing their life in different way, and they were wrapping because they were very backward, we can say. Now the ancient civilization made us that to improve ourselves, to go ahead, you can say like that. So on this way we can catch it that the face was different, the something was like that, but they managed their life differently, no doubt at all. Yes, and in the other hand, we can understand that the last line of the personhood was a non-binary position for the Maya. You can say a non-binary means what? That means one thing is together, like that a thought is one. There was no any type of you can say the distinction and the differences between the among the person of Maya civilization. Entities were able to be person, and why also being something is the first object I looked at the indicate they continue to be functional, doing what object? A stone implements, and that they were making so many things with the stone, and continue to chop. The stone was being chopped, and incense burner continues. There was something celebrating things like that. They had the so many things to make the to celebrate the functions, okay, and making the smoky something like that, okay, and the smoky work. There was the we can say in Hindi that something was being put down on the fire, and we get it that the worship has been taken like that. Okay, furthermore, the Maya visually depicted many objects in ways and indicate the material category and which they belonged, and drawing of stone implements, and so that a person tool is still made of a stone. There was the stone made tools. And one additional complexity, that in incense burner which would have been made of clay and decorate the speaker applications and representing the sacred symmetry, that you can understand there was a rainforestry. There was a rainforestry found in this region, and the categorized as a person but also a tree, categorized as a person and but also a tree with these Maya examples, and we are challenged to discard the person and non-person's binary and constitutes our basic ontological outwork and the possibility. There is the meaning that we can understand the Stony Age. There was a Stony Age, and someone was busy to make the tool of a stone, and they were celebrating also so many type of worship, having made the incense burner, you can say. And we can say also that the pronounced boundaries was not individually given. There is a pronounced, but there are not particular boundaries has been taken there in the way. So we can say the Maya world points towards the possibility of living with a certain uncategorizability of the world. That means it has not been categorized and not been classified in that time. So we can say this is the line that has been made for the Maya civilization, you can say. And next we have to go through in the type of questions, and there is a question has been given, and we have to make it that and solve it that. And one which of the following best example the additional complexity, and that the example of the incense burner illustrates the regarding personhood for the classic Maya, that which thing is making different from in this side, we can say. So like that, the first is that the example adds a new layer of the non-binary understanding of the personhood by bringing a third category that the share a similar relation with the previous. And the second is that the example provides an exception to the non-binary understanding and personhood that the passage had hit or dropped. That means you can say this example makes us something satisfactory, like that we can say that the complexity is that here the non-binary understanding of personhood. Yes, this is the line that has been written in this passage, and you can understand. So characterized share is there given in relationship with the previous. Yes, and in this way this is out of concept. That's the non-binary understanding of personhood that the passage has. It not no doubt at all. This is the half line is that given here, not the complete line. Okay, and go through other option. The example adds a new layer of the non-binary understanding, and you can say like that, bringing a third category that share a dissimilar relation with the previous. And the example in this way that you can say, in this way you can say like that, this example adds a new layer to the non-binary understanding of personhood by bringing a third category that shares a dissimilar relation with, but not dissimilar relation is that not here, you can say. Okay, and the second way the example complicates that the non-binary understanding personhood, bringing in the secret and establishing the prosperity of the divine. That means it is the out of context. Yes, so the answer is possibly maybe that which thing is very important here. The example adds a new layer. The example adds a new layer. That means non-binary understanding personhood, bringing a third category. You can see like that it is non-binary's activities in that way that Maya civilization has been taken. Okay, and we go through inside that second question. Which of the following, if true about the classic Maya, and would invalidates the purpose of the iPhone? This is the given example in that, but invalidates the purpose of iPhone. Which thing is not suitable for that iPhone? Okay, example of iPhone. You can say like that. The first is that classic Maya song represent both humans and non-living object as a characters talking and interacting with each. This is that this thing is not being employed, not been given in the passage. Non-living object as the character talking and interacting with each other. No. The iPhone example has been given for what? To understand about that how it can be managed under the way of Maya civilization. This is the way. Okay. And the second, the clay incense, the burner with the spiky appliances was categorized only as a person and not as a tree by the classic. And the third is that this is that the clay incense burner. You can say like that the clay incense burner with the spiky. This is not the incense burner was not making the spiky appliances. Not. This is quite wrong. Here is that not suitable for the passage. Unlike modern society occupied with the mobile phones, and the classic Maya did not have any communicating object. You can understand that means it is possible that need not. But here is the question given for what? That invalidates the purpose of iPhone example. The personhood of the incense burner and the stone chopper was function of their usefulness. So this has been written, and this is given to understand about it that the personhood of incense burner. That means there are so many persons, and the incense burner and the stone chopper was function of their usefulness of humans. There was a stone was being chopped in the time. Okay, so it is not possible that to make here the iPhone example. Okay, so this is the way that we can invalidate the purpose of iPhone example here in the 4. Okay, now we go through in the other question. Which one of the following is, if true, would not undermine the democratizing potential of the classic Maya? You can say like that. This is very important to understand like that. You can say very well about it that which following is true, not undermine the democratic potential of classic Maya. that means which make the weakened things for democratizing potential of Maya. They understood the stone implement and the incense burner is a purely human, and they depicted their human healers with physical and attribute of local medicinal, and which they believed in the person. This thing is that they understand the stone implement and incense burner is purely human. Write it that this is. But here is the question that undermine the democratizing, which things make weak to that democratizing. Okay, so this answer is not suitable for it, that, and we can say like that this has been written, but here is the relation of democratizing, and they depicted the human healers with physical attribute of local medic. That means democratize how it can be make the weak to it, that thus we can say that depicted their human healers and physical attributes, and while they believed in the personhood of object plants and did not believe in the personhood of river. This thing is not out of context is that here, and they believe that the animals like cats, dogs live in proximity, human have a more clearly articulated personhood. This not been written also. So we can say that this medical healers, anything healers is that physical attribute, it makes weak to that democratizing potential. Okay, so it is the answer of this. And the next question, on the basis of the passage, which of the following world views can be inferred to be closest to that of the classic Maya? Just we can understand that which of the following world views that can be inferred that to be closest to the classic Maya, which things is very close to the classic Maya. And here is that classic Maya is a very oldest civilization, and it can help to understand according to the passage that which thing is very closest to that classic Maya. The first thing we can say the first tribe that the perceives it's a hunting weapons. This thing is not written in the passage. Hunting weapons and secret person that are artifacts because of their the significance to this thing is not, weapons is not given there in the passage. And you can understand the first frustrating society that the perceived robots, here is the robots is not given in the passage, and attribute that the perceived it's the utensil, a person that utensil light there, it is not written there in the utensil which thing are there, but there were not any kinds of utensil there. Okay, a tribe that the perceived plants are person plants because they form an ecosystem and are marked in that. There was the dramatizing way of life to make ecosystem with each other in the time. You can say like that. So this thing is helpful for the passage. According to the passage, you can understand better about it. That so we can understand better about the Maya civilization and go through inside it that it was the very big civilization in the time. It predicted here so many things before we can say in 2012, and we got here the situation that, but nothing happened according to the calendar of Maya. Something was different. Okay, so understand better about that which thing are given and which thing are not given in the passage. And first you understand better about the undermine the democratizing and question. We focus on the question too much and understand the complete view which thing is being demanded to be answered. Okay, so this thing is that. Okay, now we go through inside to talk about that which thing are here. So the second para is not given, and we can understand better is that here advanced, and this type is that type of coherent sequence is that we understand this sequence can make you helpful for the jumbling you can. Okay, so we can see here the coherent passage is given there. Okay, so